Oh ho 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 ho. Let's see what we can manage today. Like, we're working on selection. Hello, Kibbs. So let's see, do we have any idea? I wanna name this compute. Something like that. I'm just thinking. What else? This could all be part of one buffer. But it's whatever. We don't really need to worry about buffer count limitations. I think. And then if we go back down here to check selection, if selection state. Maybe this should just be an integer. Instead. And then we'll say, like, I actually don't know. Like, does it care? Does HLSL overly care whether you are using uint or int and passing those between functions. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. But we can use the uint anyway. And then we say 0 equals none, 1 equals red, 2 equals dark red, 3 equals green, 4 equals dark green, 5 equals blue, 6 equals dark blue. Perhaps. I don't know if you necessarily... sometimes you don't see any of them. In some scenarios, I think. It's whatever. And then we just return a 0 instead. But before we check this, before we check any of this, what we should do is we should check it versus the selection, right? So LE data then here we're gonna have LE data dot selection start, which is a uint 3. Don't really like that we're getting a float position here. It should just be a tile. But we'll say if dot x. Hello, Despis. Good morning. If selection start is less than input.x and selection start dot y is less than input.y. No, this isn't what I want exactly. For the selection start, I think it makes sense. No, not necessarily. I think we should subtract the z minus selection start dot z, and then also subtract it from the input dot z, and then we repeat that, except this is now selection end. And it is now... it should be less than or equal to. And this should be... I don't know. Greater than or equal to, or greater than. One of the two. Basically, what we need to do here is... I might have a selection that looks like this. Something like that. And then it's like... this is the backmost line for the X. So is this. And then we have blue, which is the Z. There is never a dark blue, I think. I think the dark blue is what can never show, because it's always going to be covered by something here. Actually, maybe it should be like that. And then you need a green. Like that. And And this can be at any elevation. Like, this doesn't necessarily... Like, let's say this is the ground here. It's not necessarily flush to the ground. It could be up in the air that we have selected something. Like up here. But what we need to do is we simply need to treat this like it is on the ground. But also treat like whatever pixel we're trying to check, like it's also on the ground. And for that, we just need to take the current Y minus the Z. Or do we just not care about the Z? Or do we add the Z? I'm not sure. Okay, let's think about this. Like this one, if I want to check this one here, then we'll check the Y. But if it were higher, then we would still just check the Y. No. Because Y is this direction. And Z is up. Think. I actually forgot. No, Z should be up. Yeah, Z is up. So in order for me to check here, this is now Z, by the way. Okay. So this is actually Z1, since I moved it up. So that means we have to add a Z and Y together, not subtract. Like that. And we should just need to input an X and a Y here. Sorta. And this should be the opposite. This should be, if this is greater than, this should be less than, greater than, less than, then we return 0. Because then there's no selection. Let's call this tile position, not just XY. This, I don't want to do this. This is something I had to do for texture sampling, which is really, really annoying to deal with. I'll be right back. Tile index. Oh, okay, never mind. It does need to be an in3 here. But that's okay. We just do tile position here, dot Z. That's fine. This thing loves to just change itself. There. There, then we create a 1D tile index. This should not be area world size, this should be world size. I don't think you need to do that conversion there, you just need the parentheses. Yeah, okay. So here we're grabbing the selection state. And then if the selection state is true, then we need to fetch... Then we actually only need to check whether... Ah, shit. But I think we just need to pass in a pixel position. Because basically what we need to check is if pixel position.x line size equals 1 for now, I guess. If pixel position x what should I call it? It's like the internal tile pixel position is what I need. But that's such a weird, bad name, like internal tile pixel position. Is that really what I want to call it? If internal tile pixel position is less than line size, and internal tile pixel position dot y, this should be or is less than line size, or dot z is less than line size, or internal, let's just do this now. If this is greater than, changed it, but I don't remember what we changed, what I've changed it to. I think it's 32 now. No, it just needs to be greater than or equal to. Then what? All right, so here now, if any of this is true, then we need to do something else, return 0. Huh. So now that we're in here, should it be like this? Hmm. It's actually quite annoying. Because like I said, you have to check the corners too. So code-wise, I feel like the easiest way to do this is to just fetch all of the corners every time. But that's also extremely inefficient. Because we can know if we're on the left side. And if we're on the left side, there's no reason to check the right side. Right? Like, so we can do one check here, and then in here we can have a ton of checks. Which is generally speaking bad. So I don't know if it's actually better to have a bunch of if statements in here or just to do it. You know? That's the concern when you're doing graphics programming. The if statements might be slower than just fetching the data. I miss drinking coffee. Mint tea just doesn't hit it the same. I don't know. I don't know. Why is everything so complicated? Even the easy shit, like, Jesus. Alright, so basically, let's just do something. If... Well, the thing... Well... The thing is... If I'm gonna do this, the else, or the... Yeah, the else checks in here, then we might as well just split them all up, right? Because I'm gonna have to make the check again in here in order to determine what we're gonna do. So there's no reason to have the big one, right? And it should be like this. No, it's fine. So we have... We're checking the X. Then we check the Y. Then we need to check if... But then here we can say left equals true. Check left. Check back. Check back equals true. Then here we say if check left and check back. Oh man. No, I think I'm just gonna fetch everything and then we just check. It's gonna be worse performance, but it's gonna be... infinity easier to code. But it doesn't need to be super performant, it's just the level editor. And I think it'll be fine anyway. Because otherwise, what I'm gonna have to do, I think, is do like if statements for like every single thing. It's just atrocious. Like it's gonna need to be like if left is true, if down is true, if back is true, then we're on the corner specifically, then we need to check like the corner tile down there. Otherwise we don't need to. And if only two, like if only left and back are true, then we need to check the corner in this direction. And I'm gonna need to have like an if check for every single edge and corner. Right? I'm just thinking. Because I do think it's better if we just fetch like the cardinals first. Fine. Maybe we'll try it. I don't like it. I almost want to invent like a new way of writing this. Like, I don't like left, right, up, down, back, forward at all, actually. Maybe we do like XN and XP. Because I don't like X0, X1. That kind of works. I don't like... And you can't do plus and minus as the variable. So... Y negative, Y positive. Z negative, Z positive. Is that okay? And then this one here, this would be check xn equals true. Check yn equals true. Check zn equals true. Hello, ho, ho, how's it going? Then we need these. If doing good, making a cursed behavior tree, shit everywhere. How about you? I'm doing okay. I'm doing cursed shader shit. I'm trying to program in rendering of the selector, a selection, like literally this tool, selection tool, but it's for 3D for selecting tiles. And it needs to have edges. Like it needs to show the selection on the edges. And that's what we're doing. It's a 3D box? Yeah, yeah. Is shaded programming ever not cursed? It can be less cursed than other times, but usually it's quite cursed. And then this is P for positive. Right, and here's what I hate. We now need to fetch this basically. Oh my god. Buffer access index. Plus int index. Right, the buffer access, this is which buffer? Which buffer memory allocation we're accessing? Sure. And then we have the int index, which is our current tile index. Divided by 32. Yeah. See, what's annoying is that since I need to check the tile to the left and tile to the right and the tile above and the tile below and the tile, you know, back and forward, the issue is that all of those tiles, they only exist in a one-dimensional array. And they only exist in a one-dimensional packed array. Because it's bits. We're checking for bits. And those bits exist within integers. So it's a one-dimensional array of bits packed into integers. And then in order for me to access the right tile, to the left and to the right, it's sort of simple. It's just +1, -1. But we still have to recalculate because that +1 might push us over into another integer. And for going forward, then that's in y, So then that depends a bit on how they're packaged, but I think it's X, Y, Z. And in that case, then we're gonna need to jump world size in X forward to access the correct integer. Like, it's just annoying. Oh, we're just gonna sit here and stare at it for a while until it solves itself. But yeah, basically we need to recheck. So let's see. What do I need to do? It's gonna need to be this. I think. Here, tile index is used here. So we need this, basically. Then it's like, if check xn is true, Then we need to do this. Tile position, XYZ, minus. And this is a int 3 minus int 3 1 0 0. And then it just does all of this. I actually think we might not need to really do much other than that. Maybe it's already good. And then here what we're gonna say is we're gonna say if selection state. No, it doesn't even, we don't need selection state. This just needs to be xn. Right? And then this just needs to be repeated. Yn. And this is 0, 1. Yeah. Then we check Z. Then we duplicate that, check positive. Oh. See, what I hate about it is that I hate coding things that feel stupid and inefficient. Like when you have to like manually write out like 7,000 like checks for things, I hate that because it's so it feels so shitty and clunky. If you could do this with like one clever snippet, that would feel nice. But this isn't even all of it. This is not even all of it. And on top of that, we actually need to have a check here. We need an overflow thing. So here we are fetching a world size. We're adding that here. So what we need as well is an int max index equals world index So, tile index, tile position, if tile index is less than 0, then I wish you could break an if statement. If tile index is greater than or equal to 0, then we do this shit. And then here, this is XP, YP, ZP. That means that this one is wrong too. Z. So here we need to see if the tile index is less than max index. I believe. And it doesn't end there. So now is where it gets annoying. So now we need to start doing this. Like if XP and YP and ZP then we need to do a specifics check, right? So that's then 1 plus 1. And then we can do all of that. And then we need to do this for every combo. XN, YN, ZN. Then we have a minus here. Then we change this to tile index is greater than or equal to 0. And here, I think maybe we should use the convention I used in my other engine, which was just like numbers, but you need a variable like T000 equals false. And then you need 27. Something. Oh my god. All right, let's do it. Let's do this in order. It's X order. It's X, Y, Z. So first we do the X. So it'll always be like this. I don't know how many we need. And then here it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. Here is 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. But it needs to be like that. 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2. And then it's 2, 2, 2. That, I believe. Two, 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 two. And then 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. And then we delete 1, 1, 1. Because that's the one we already have. That's the origin. Is this really the way to go? Because I hate this. No, we don't need to do that. I don't need that. Because we can return here. This is a return. Do you even need to have a thing here? Can you just write like this? And then you say... No, it's not that simple. Fuck. Because... Oh my god. Because here we have confirmed that we're in the corner. But just because we're in the corner doesn't mean that we're gonna get a corner. Because it could just be the corner of a long straight line. So... So if this returns true, so here we have XP, YP, and ZP are all positive. And then The ternary is a little unnecessary. You could just do ZP does not equal everything to the equals 0 and remove the true false. Yeah, maybe. Um... Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's kind of whatever, but you are right. Yeah, the problem is just the logic. I'm just trying to think, because oh boy, what we're checking is basically like we have a tile that we've confirmed is within the selection. So we're checking to the right, and we're checking up, or we're checking forward, and we're also checking above. And if all of those are true, then we need to check the corner, which is over here. And if the corner is also true, then that means that we don't draw anything, because that means we're within the space. However, if the corner is empty, that means we need to draw this. Because then you have a shape that looks like this. And then it's probably like this. And like this. So it needs to draw this pixel. So what we should do here then is if this is true, then we need to return a color, but I'm not sure which color. Let's just say 1 for now. Else return 0. Does this not work? Can't do this. Okay. But then the question is, if it's in the top right corner, then it's going to be... it doesn't matter. I just set it to 1, and then if we can get it to render, then we'll see where the colors are wrong, and then we just change it. That's really all that matters here. And then here it's the same thing. Here we can set it to a 3 instead. And then we need to do the other 6 corners. I hate this. I hate this so much. Okay. So if that's positive, then we need to do this instead. And then this needs to contain both checks. And that should be fine. And then like I feel like this could be done in a different way. Kind of, maybe. But then I still need to, like, return a specific color for the specific corner. I don't know. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna try, let's try being a bit logical here, and we say positive, positive, positive. Then let's start with positive, negative, negative. Then we do positive, positive, it doesn't matter. Actually, let's do it in the cube order. So in that case, it's gonna be this is 0. This is negative, negative, negative. Then it's gonna be one we haven't made yet. 1, which is negative, negative, positive. So it's this order. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Not that it matters, really, but -1, +1. Positive. This is 2. That's then positive, positive. So I'm just gonna redo all this. Positive, negative. That's 3. 4 is then negative, positive, negative. Positive. We have positive, positive, positive. And then a 7, which is positive, positive, negative. Okay. And then we need to do it again. But it's still kind of bugged. I think we'll check the edges first. So how do we how do we order the edges? Zero. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. 8. Oh, I hate this. 9, 10, 11. Does it have to be this way? And this is what an edge needs to look like. So I'm going to call this E0 for edge. And then this is then this edge, which means that x is negative. So y and z negative are true, while x and xp are both false, right? So both y and z, which are going to point in the same direction, that's the negative direction, but they are false. No, they are true, right? So we know that there are two things here. But we also, this scenario can only happen when both x's are false. No, that's not true either. No, that is true. No, it's not. No, it's... It's this check xn and check xp that need to be false. Not the actual check. It's the fact that we didn't check, because that means we are not in the corner. Are you kidding me? I am feeling a bit better today, but I don't know if I'm feeling this good. I should get some water. And then this should just be 0 on the x. And then let's just go with the positive, like the plus, and then -1, -1. But I don't know if this is accurate either. No, it's not. There's gotta be a better way. Like, what I'm doing has gotta be wrong. This... There needs to be like a check for concave and convex corners or edges. I think it's gonna be like 40 fucking if statements. Let's go back. I feel like something is a bit wrong. Because this here, the checks, those are what determine our position. Right? So I feel like we need to use that more. Potentially. Because, let's see. What would it be like? I don't think that the green... I don't think there's any configuration in which you'll draw the greens in the back. You would just never see it, because it would always be overlapped by the front Y line. No, this is the green is the Z line. It would always be overlapped by the green Z line and the blue Y line. Very sad. Like, I kind of had it working before. So... this was my previous solution. And as you can see, it's still a lot, but it doesn't feel... like, is it as bad? Here, I'm just going by values. Check selection edge, check selection verticals. Is it all equals 0 everywhere? Alright, I'm gonna take a little chill pill here. Even though I feel like I've been just staring at the screen. I am actually taking literal chill pills. Unironic. It's actually why I'm feeling decent today. I started taking something yesterday called quercetin phytoson. And it like immediately improved like my clarity. But we'll see. I've only taken it for 1 day, but it's like a big difference. Like actually. It felt like I almost within a few hours or even just like 1 hour, I went from, because normally I feel like my eyelids are like heavy, I'm like that. It felt like my eyes wanted to be open instead. And that's like a it's a big step, I think. So hopefully that does something. My parents swear by... Oh, really? I felt like this was like some ancient hidden mystery secret pill. I did OD on B vitamins. B bright green. Alright. Yeah, I've been using AI a lot to like feed in my symptoms and like what I've been eating like every day. I have like a little like log where I'm feeding in those kind of things. And it's been pointing towards like histamine intolerance and stuff like that. Cytokine bullshit. Mast cell activation. And I managed to find that people with something called mast cell activation syndrome typically take this because it like reduces cytokine release, and that's like what makes you feel shitty and like fevery and stuff. And it seems to kind of work. The name of the syndrome: mast cell activation syndrome. And there are a bunch of other supplements that they're supposed to be mast cell stabilizing. So I bought two other supplements as well, I think, that are supposed to work in tandem with this, and then we'll see. But it's just a guess. But this seems to work. Kinda. At least one day. I don't know. Who knows? Does it work 2 days? Maybe. 3 days? Maybe not. Yeah, the janky looking MMO's going alright, actually. But I don't want to mash it that much because it, yeah, I just lost my train of thought. My brain does this. It's terrible. It's getting reset. It's getting wiped on October 1st. And yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for the doctors to get back to me. They're supposed to be back like this week. Work, and then they're going to have like a meeting, and then they're gonna call me and be like, "Yeah, you're stressed," and I'm gonna be like, "Okay," and then we'll see. But I think at the end of the day, for like what I suspect that I have, this is actually what they do, more or less. More or less. What are the other recommendations? I don't know. Let me look what they're called. It's some bullshit. I'm gonna open up my email. It's called... No, it's fine. I'm just chilling right now. Because this is annoying and too much. It's called... Palmito Ilethanolamide. PEA. And the other one is called luteolin. Those are the other two that I've bought. But I've also read that they can sometimes, though I doubt they'd do that in Sweden, but in America, they might put you on something called like natroxine or something. It's like an anti-opioid. used to combat drug addicts or something, but like on a low dose. You can also take antihistamines, but honestly, taking the amount of antihistamines that it told me to take costs like a fortune. Because you use up a package in like a week and it costs like $15. I didn't feel anything at all from my antihistamines. I really didn't notice it. I don't know if that worked out. But yeah, basically the idea is that it's called mast cell activation syndrome, and it can be triggered by histamines, and it can, like, if you have chronically activated mast cells, from what I understand, they'll be producing something called cytokines, and this can also then be exacerbated by exercise or stress and stuff like that. Even just like mental stress. And cytokines are what your body uses to create like the feverish feeling. And so you can have like a localized cytokine production like in your head or in your brain. And then you'll just feel like you have a fever, but you don't actually have a fever. You can also get a fever, I think, because there's like extreme, more or less extreme cases, right? So, like that's what I suspect is going on, but I have no idea. I don't have any more tea in there. I'm gonna get some water. Things that make you want to not think when you got the flu, I think? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And I always feel like I have a fever every single day. And sometimes it's worse, sometimes it's better, but I always feel it like that. So that's why I like every single time like I've used Claude a lot to like diagnose this, and every single time I like make a new fresh conversation, and like I try to like push back and whatever, it pretty much always comes to the same conclusion about it, that it is this thing called, it's MCAS for short. But I also only trust Claude so far for medical advice. But I do trust it more than some general practitioner out in literally nowhere. What? And I started noticing it because I was just randomly testing things, and Claude was telling me to test my heart rate. And I was like, it's normal, like, who cares? But it also told me to test my heart rate when I was, like, lying down versus standing. And when I was lying down, I had, like, 70, 75, 80, whatever heart rate, which is, like, normal. It's not good, but it's normal. But, and then when I stood up, it was, like, 160. Which is a lot. And from day to day, like the spike is like different. Some days it's like it just goes up to like 90 when I stand up. Sometimes it goes to 120. Sometimes it's 140. And apparently that's something called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And like 50 to 60% of people who have that also have that other thing called mast cell activation syndrome. So that was like another thing that led me to that. And if I do like just like Monday we did programming for 2 hours. It's more than I get when I'm doing cardio. It's more than I get when I'm doing cardio. I get like 140 when I'm doing cardio or something. 150 maybe. So Monday, when I woke up, I had like a really low baseline of like 65, 60 something. And when I stood up then, it was like 90, 95. Which was really normal, like it was good. And then we programmed for 2 hours, and I felt pretty good Monday. We programmed for 2 hours, and then I stopped, just because I didn't want to like over push myself, because I was just getting back to it. And then I walked to the grocery store, which is 500 meters. So it was a kilometer total, back and forth. And I bought some stuff. It wasn't even that much, like, it was just one bag of groceries. And then when I got back home, I had a heart rate of 140, which is like normal for having taken a walk and like gone to the store. So I just laid down, and then I tested it like an hour later. I stood up, 140. I laid down, had some food, tested it like 3 hours later, 140. I tested it like 6, 7, 8 hours later, it was still like 140, and it just stays like that like the whole day. So like every time I go to the bathroom, it's just like 140. It's like caused by exercising, and I've always felt like whenever I do exercise, like cardio or whatever, I get really, really, really sick. Like I get so tired. It's like to the point where I have to like go to bed in the middle of the day, and then I just collapse for like a week after I've been pushing it for a while. So so something is fucky. And these are like the first things that I've found that I might be able to show it to a doctor, because I've taken every single blood test that they will allow me to take. Without like any other symptoms or whatever, and they're all normal. So the difference between you standing up or lying down and standing up should be less than 30. Like it can spike a little bit, but it should go back down really fast, like within a minute or two. But for me, it's like almost always more than 30. Which is what is called the pot thing. But yeah. Let's see if we can get back to this. This is so ass. So Do we check the corner first? And we don't actually return here? It's so hard. Because it's like, if we have a corner, no, it's wrong, I think. Because it's this corner that we're checking. This. Because we are in this corner, and we're checking here and here. These are true. And then if this is false, then we need to draw the corner here. No, it's fine. But the corner check should be first. Because if this is true, like if we are in the corner and the right and the top, are true, then there can't be a scenario where it's actually an edge. It's just impossible. But then you have this corner. And this is a everything is empty corner. So what are we doing? What is xn? So check xn. This is all set based on all this. So This is if all the corners are true. I feel like it needs to be something like this. If check X and check YN and check ZN. It just never stops getting more complicated. So if all of these are true, then it's a convex corner. No, a concave corner. Else if... And I think it needs to be like this. Like, it needs to be explicitly all three are false. Oh. Then we need to return a color. Because we've already established that the tile we're checking is part of the selection. That's already established. So if we are in a specific corner and we check its neighbors and they're all true, concave corner. If they're all false, convex corner. Else, fall back to edge logic. And some edges will simply need to have priority over other edges. As well. You know what? I'm gonna call it here. Another short programming stream, but we're getting back to it after a month. I just have some other things, some design stuff I need to get to this week and try to figure out, because some other people are relying on it. So I think instead of trying to push through this, we'll just call it here. We did a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff there done. Hello, okay, we're quitting right now. How you doing? Very auspicious timing. Your interrupt spell missed my cast power. Yeah, it was a fake up. The fake programming stream. Did you feel really stupid now? But I do think this, unfortunately, is... like, it just is kind of shitty. You just have to manually hardcode every angle and on every edge and every corner. You just have to make sure it's done in the right order and that you're getting like concave and convex corners correctly. We should probably be able to tackle this next time. Vibe code it? No, not vibe coding it. Even though it is good at this kind of stuff. Because you already have like the established logic. So you could. But it is fine. We just gotta get through. Anyhow. I'm gonna go and do some drawing and see if I can get that off my plate. We'll try to play some Baldur's Gate tonight. We're finally back on the main story. Instead of doing all the side quests. And that'll be that. Finish. And thought you finished it? No, I've been sick for like a month. So I've barely even been streaming. It's quite auspicious. It's very auspicious. The sign stream? I don't think so. Too many spoilers. But I do have a draw stream that I need to be doing soon. I just don't really have time for it right now when I need to do some design stuff as well, on top of programming and shit, so... We will be doing some more art streams very soon. Hopefully like next week. But yeah. Until next time. Thanks for hanging.